Is eFootball PES 2021 worth your money? You're about to find out.
Must be! Tries a shot! Goal! Barcelona!
Fred, Richani, TSC Gaming, your home for game reviews, news, and everything in between. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'm here to give you guys my thoughts on eFootball PES 2021, aka Pro Evolution Soccer 21. Yes, that title is obscenely obnoxious, but it is what it is. Now, I have some good news for y'all and some bad news for y'all. The bad news is PES 21 is pretty much the same as PES 20. The good news is PES 21 is pretty much the same as PES 20. So why should you buy PES 21? Well, it really depends on what kind of gamer you are. For a casual soccer fan like myself or a football fan, I don't really care that much about licenses. I'm not big on, okay, if I could play MLS or this team or that team. I just like to play a good soccer game, and I've played PES for years, so I've enjoyed it. If you're somebody that loves the exact rosters, all the different licenses, all the different leagues that you can play in FIFA, well, chances are you're probably going to go with FIFA. But here's the thing. Konami is only charging you $29.99 or less, depending on where you buy it, for the 2021 update, whereas FIFA is right now, at least at full price, $60 like a regular freaking game, which is kind of ridiculous because you look at FIFA 20 and FIFA 21, there's really not that big of a difference. So first and foremost, the price point is not that bad. As for the game itself, not that bad. And if you haven't played PES 20, or maybe you haven't played other PES games in a while and you want to dive back in, this is a fantastic entry point. You get some awesome gameplay. It's a lot more authentic. Gone are the days when you can just sprint up and down the field. The defense is improved. The dribbling's improved. The AI is still a little wonky, but like the beautiful game in real life, patience and practice makes perfect, and it is rewarded beautifully in this game. Now, as for the actual modes, because at the end of the day, it's not just about the gameplay, but the content surrounding it, you get your usual MyClub, which is Konami's version of EA Sports' Ultimate Team. Personally, I'm not a fan of collecting card packs. I'm not a fan of microtransactions. I think it's a grind and it kind of a complete waste of time. I get why video game companies do it because it makes money. I don't really care for it, although I gotta say, it's much less intrusive on PES than it seems to be on EA Sports' titles with the My Team and Ultimate Team and buy these packs and buy for currency and upgrades. Like, I'm tired of all that crap. I don't need it. So MyClub's perfectly fine, but if you're somebody like me that despises Ultimate Team, it has a bit of a shelf life. You do have Master League, where you could play as a manager, including real-life managers such as the late, great Diego Maradona. That's pretty fun. You also have Become a Legend, where you create your own player, and, well, Become a Legend. You could also use an existing player as well and select a specific league and team. Usually I like to just create a character and just select a random league. I feel like it's more fun that way, but whatever the case may be, it's up to you. It's pretty fun. The only thing I don't like is really kind of what I mentioned at the top of this review, which is that it's really no different from last year and really the year before that. Of course, PES is now known as eFootball PES because it emphasizes the multiplayer component locally and online, and there's plenty of online modes to choose from. You can do a number of exhibitions in various cups, and if you're new to PES, and I get it, it's very different from FIFA in some ways as far as the controls and everything, you can not only adjust the controls, but there are plenty of tutorials to go through, and honestly, I like to go through them every year because practice makes perfect, and it is a fun game for me. But what is the verdict? Graphically, I give PES 2021 an 8 out of 10. A nice looking game. I wouldn't say it's anything absolutely blow away, but it's a nice game. I had no issues when it came to frame rate, no issues when it came to the animations or anything like that, no glitches that I could speak of, so I liked it overall. Graphically, a perfectly fine presentation, but if we're talking about graphics, the menus are still a few generations behind. They still come off like PS2 menus. It's a pain in the ass to even quit the game. You gotta go to the menu and then options and then quit the game. It's just not convenient at all. Nice game, but they gotta make the UI a little more user-friendly. Gameplay, I give PES a 9 out of 10. I like it a lot. Like a lot of sports games, it really varies on the difficulty level, but but there are plenty of tutorials to choose from to hone your skills. I just really like the feel of it more than FIFA. Nothing wrong if you like FIFA more, but I especially love the improved defense in recent years. Also, the fact that, like I said, you can't just sprint up and down the field with no consequences whatsoever. They've made it a lot more realistic in that sense, although, yeah, the commentary, some of the stuff surrounding the gameplay can be improved and refined over time, but in terms of the actual product, the substance beyond the style, PES has shined for years, and PES 21 is no different. Content, I give it a 7 out of 10. The gameplay is awesome. They're not charging you full price for this. Now, I'd rather have a game that has a lot of substance, that plays very well, that has little to no glitches and frame rate issues, than a game that's just a lot of window dressing, kind of like a lot of EA Sports games in recent years, like Madden, for example. But it would be nice if they added some voiceovers. It would be nice if they added just a little bit of pizzazz. I'm not saying that they gotta go full on crazy like they did with EA Sports and add a story mode and overlook everything else and decide not to improve everything else and just constantly add a story mode that nobody wants. But it just would be nice to have a few extras, a few tweaks here and there to make the experience whole. Overall, TSC Gaming gives eFootball PES 2021 an 8 out of 10. I totally understand if you have PES 20 and you decide, you know what, I'd rather just mod it myself and update the rosters myself, which you could do. Personally, I found it a little complicated. I was a bit lazy. I just said, screw it, I'll buy the update. I'm perfectly fine with that. But depending on your version, especially on PC, which is what I'm playing on right now, you should be able to mod it and update the rosters. But if you don't want to do that, you could pick this up for $30 or less. Again, perfectly fine price point. I really like it, but I totally understand if somebody looks at it and says, you know what, I'd rather save my money and invest it elsewhere and just wait for 2022. But look, props to Konami for not charging us or trying to charge us full price for a game that's essentially the same as last year's. If you enjoyed this review, please like, share, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more updates like this. And until next time, as always, enjoy the games.